What's up, podcast fans? This is a very special episode of the Million Pound Mission podcast, where you're going to get to listen in as I do a strategy session with one of my coaching clients for my Transformation Reboot program. The goal of each one of these strategy sessions is to help my client identify, analyze, and prepare ahead for their top transformation danger zones. If you think that you could benefit from a coaching session like this, you can head on over to millionpoundmission.com and check out all of the information on my Transformation Reboot membership. Now, let's dive into the episode. All right, Tamara, welcome to your hot seat call. What would you like to focus on with this session?
Well, as you know, the job switch requires a lot of travel, and so far so good. I spent a lot of time down in our Seattle branch, and so I actually found a gym there now. So I have a coach up here for that I hired that eventually, hopefully, will lead to powerlifting in the future. So I'm kind of working with him, getting routines down and stuff I can do while I'm on the road. But I think my main challenge is still food, which has always kind of been there.
Yeah.
I'm doing the calorie cycling, which is working out good for the most part. I have my odd days. The lower the calories are getting on my low calorie day, the more challenging it gets. Because of course, for me, I go down to the US and it's like, oh, Chick-fil-A. Oh, I don't have that up in Canada. So
Yeah. Yep. The old Chick-fil-A gets you every time.
I know. So it's kind of I don't know if it's because it's new and, I've traveled down to the US a lot in the past, but now it's something that's very regular. And I think I have to keep in my head that, you know what, you can always go to Chick-fil-A next time when it's a high calorie day.
Yeah.
But it's just alluring, right? It's the new food and I don't have this in Canada. I don't have that. So I kind of go a little,
Yeah.
all in sometimes.
Yeah. So on your calorie cycling too, I mean, we could always look at it a week by week basis and switch your high calorie days around so it makes more sense with your travel. That's something else you could look at. And again, you don't necessarily, if you feel like that calorie drip, how we're kind of lowering each week across the board. If you feel like that's, if things are getting too low, I mean, as long as we're getting the results that we're after, as long as the weight's coming off, then, we can stay at one level for an extra week or something like that. So we can manipulate things a little bit. Another thing that I've been experimenting with is I've been keeping my high calorie days, those 2 days the same. I don't drop those down, because I was just getting I'm getting hangry, especially on the lower days. I'm like, oh man, then I can look forward to replenishing, and I'm still seeing positive results. So those are all things that we could, use to manipulate. And, that's, part of what I like to coach, what I like to preach is let's take a basic premise, a basic tool, and let's fine tune it and manipulate it until we find the sweet spot where it really is going to fit your lifestyle. So that's, and your traveling is a part of your lifestyle. So it's something that we got to kind of get dialed in with. So any thoughts on those ideas?
So you're talking basically keeping the low calorie days kind of the same, right? Or
we could do that.
High?
Yeah, we could keep the low calorie days the same. I do the high calorie days. I don't bring those down at all. So my high calorie days are always, I've been dropping week by week the medium and the low. But and that just has helped me as far as just maintaining pace and not going, screw it, I'm doing something different. So that's one option, but then also we could keep it lower where that's at as well. If you feel like that's, if you're hitting a lot of travel days on those low days, or we switch your schedule around so that it makes sense on your travel days to have those high calorie days on your travel days. So, but ideally high calorie day or high activity day, that's the important thing too. So
yes,
we want to be kind of as consistent with that as we can also.
Yeah.
So
for me, I think it's the low calorie days that are more the struggle than anything. I've been going down, I think I'm on week 3 right now. I've been going down the 50 calories, and the regular days and the 125% days are great. I don't have a problem staying underneath those. It's kind of when I get to those low calorie days that I start to just go slightly over, but I am working out still on those days,
Yeah.
just the way it's been happening right now. But those are the days that I struggle with the most.
Yeah. So what you might want to try to think about is that high activity, high calorie, low activity, low calorie, matching things up with that. So like I would use your low calorie days on your rest days, your off days, because just creating that caloric deficit by working out on the same, and you're not going to get as, especially if you're doing like strength training or something, like you want that on a higher calorie day. So you have those nutrients to recover and heal and get stronger for the next workout. So
Yeah.
that, like I said, it might be a week by week thing when you look at your schedule for home base, when you look at your schedule on a traveling week. Just take that. I mean, that's going to be a great way to use the battle plan workbook too, is just match up. We know we've got 3 base days, 2 high calorie, 2 low calorie. So let's make sure that our 2 low calories ideal would be when we are not traveling and when we are not exercising. That'd be ideal if we can make that happen. If not, we do the best that we can. And then the high calorie days would be high workout and or travel, so you can get some Chick-fil-A while you're down in the States. Chick-fil-A day. So I mean that would be probably the best case scenario. Do you feel like you could pull that off with just kind of a week by week manipulation of just making sure we get those total number of days in, but changing the order based on your travel? Is that something that you feel like is doable?
I think so, for sure. I know things are going to shift slightly because right now I'm working out of an office and I'm trying to learn all the product. Eventually, it's going to be a lot more time in the car, right? So I'll
Yeah.
have, 4 to 6 appointments a day. I'll be in the car. So I don't tend to snack in the car, which is a positive thing.
Yeah.
So once that starts happening, I may have to relook at it. But for now, it's pretty go down to the office, work, sometimes later hours. But it's, yeah, just all the little temptations that I'm getting used to.
Yeah. I mean, a car day would be great for low calorie day because that's, like you said, and you shouldn't be eating in the car anyway, because this is one of my lessons from Alexa Sherm. Like, she always gives me things that just freak me out. I'm like, I can never do that again. So she's like, don't eat while you're driving because you are in fight or flight. Like, that's how you travel from one point A to point B. That's how you get there, with a fight or flight, nervous system response. And that will take calories and store it towards body fat for later use for more fight or flight. So people that are eating in the car, like, very high percentage of those calories are going to get stored as body fat no matter what. So
interesting.
yeah, so that'll freak you out.
It's a little shocker.
I know. I'm like, oh, I've got a 13-hour drive. What do I do? So like, if I am in the car, so for like when we drove to Florida for vacation, that's like 15 hours or something, like crazy. It's an insane drive. But I'm cheap, so that's why we do it. So I won't eat while I'm driving. The best case scenario is we stop and eat. I can sit down and eat, or I eat while I'm in the passenger seat, and my wife drives. So
yeah, smart.
So that's some strategies there, but hopefully that'll scare you into not eating in the car.
Yes, it certainly has made me think about it. I had my little vitamin kind of, I found, I don't know if you have the V8 ones, the little energy drinks.
Yeah.
I've switched because I used to have a terrible habit with Red Bull, and I've kind of started going back to that a bit.
Yeah.
So I picked up some of those V8s and I have those in the car. Does that count?
Well, I mean, you got to think like just the quality of the food that you're putting in and the amount of calories. Like, I was sitting there and I would eat like 1,000-calorie keto brick, which is clean, but it's 1,000 calories while I drive. And I'm like, okay, you just don't want to pump a bunch of calories through your system while you're driving.
Right.
Because you just got to think percentages. So, I mean, we don't know what the percentage is, but let's say 50% of the calories are stored as body fat because you're in fight or flight parasympathetic mode. Well, I don't want 500 calories going to my hips, So that way you just think, if I'm going to eat less, or I eat when I'm in the driver's seat, or I stop and eat, or I fast, or it's a low calorie day. So I just have a big breakfast and a big dinner and done.
Right.
So that's the way you want to think with those travel days. But
okay.
I mean, so I feel like we need to base off of, especially when you're traveling, we need to base off of either your workouts or your nutrition, and kind of use that as your anchor. So what I mean by that is, like, let's say you're traveling next week and you say, all right, I'm going to work out on these days because I have an opportunity to work out. I know where I can work out and when with my schedule. And then I'm going to match up my food to that schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Or we go, I'm traveling next week. I know that I need to have a high calorie day on this day and a low calorie day on that day. And I'm going to match up my fitness to that schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to pick the one that to base off of that is generally more predictable. And then we, match things up based on that. So what do you feel like is a better scenario while you're traveling? Use like, I'm going to schedule my workouts and then, manipulate my nutrition. So if like Monday, you can get to the gym and get a strength training day, and then we go, okay, Monday needs to be a high calorie day.
Mm-hmm.
Or do we say Monday needs to be a high calorie day because that's where I can score some Chick-fil-A time, and then I'm going to get a strength training workout because that's a high calorie day. So which chicken and which egg do you feel like we need to put first there?
I think it's going to depend what kind of activity I'm doing when I'm on the road. When I'm working out, actually, it it works out really well with my workout schedule now, because even visiting customers, you're not doing that till 8 or 9 is your first appointment, right? And usually you're kind of situated close to where you're going to be. So I have a lot of that time in the morning to say, okay, I need to structure my workouts like this.
Okay.
I've got a gym now that I have signed up for in Canada that also has 24-hour fitness down in the US, at all the locations that I travel to. So that
Nice.
works out really well. But I think if I base it around my workouts and just say, okay, these are the days that I'm going to have workouts, and also knowing, do I have a client dinner, in the evening, that'll be a big thing.
Yeah.
Because if I know that I have to go out for dinner, um, I probably want to save a little bit depending on where we go. Because a lot of times it's the customers that say, hey, let's go here. Have you ever tried this? And then,
Yeah.
well, it's a new food option, I want to try it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe planning my workouts first,
Okay.
dependent on my day, and then planning my calories around that.
Okay, let's try that with your next travel week. I want you to sit down before you're actually on the week. So maybe like the Friday before, or if you're
Mhm.
leaving on Monday or whatever, and use the Battle Plan Workbook weekly planner
Okay.
and map out when you're working out, and then just make notes on what the calories for those days, depending on what workout you're doing. Or if you have a day of inactivity, that's automatic. Like let's do low cal day
Okay.
on that. And I think that like what I've noticed is my mindset is better, my energy is better, because a lot of people get that kind of crisscrossed up. They're like, well, on my low calorie day, I want to work out really, really hard because that's when I'm going to burn more fat, which technically could be true. But, I'm more concerned with giving our body what it needs to repair, to have lean muscle tissue, to be, make sure we have enough calories to release body fat. Because if we go super high activity, super low calorie, our body's going to go, nope, not going to release any body fat today. We're just going to burn up some muscle. So I feel like it's working really well for me. Like I said, my body fat continues to go down with this technique. And I feel like, you'll just feel better mentally. And you can always do empty stomach workouts too, and you're going to get a good fat burn off of that. Like today, is a high calorie day for me, but I did an hour class at the gym from 5:30 to 6:30 before I ate. So I was still kind of primed in a fat burning state. And now I'm going to recover and have my high calorie day and enjoy every calorie.
Yeah, and most of the time actually I work out on an empty stomach, because I'll typically get up and then hit the gym right away, come home, have my smoothie, protein shake kind of thing. So that's kind of a norm for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Now with the weight training, especially with moving into powerlifting, I know I need a little bit more energy. So for that kind of thing, what do you recommend? Like when I'm going to the gym and I know that I'm going to be training heavier.
Yeah. Like if you're going to do an early morning workout like that, you
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So, having a little bit of food would help. But if that's just like, for a lot of people, that's just like not going to wake up at 3 a.m. to eat a meal, Adam. What you want to think about is your last meal the night before. Maybe have
Hmm.
something a little more solid. That's when you get your steak or something that's going to digest a little more slowly, or save some calories towards the back edge of the day, or eat slightly later. You still want to have a gap between when you go to bed. And then in the morning, just hit a little caffeine and maybe do, like, I love the Ultra Human products. Shout out to Jason. He has the amino code. Do a couple
Okay.
scoops of that. That way you've got some, like, you just sort of think muscle protection during strength training, making sure that we have building blocks to recover and we're not burning lean tissue. So like a couple scoops of amino coat, something like that's going to do the trick. And then, get your nice big meal in after that.
Okay.
What I would do. So does that make sense?
That works. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Anything else you want to cover real quick?
No, I find that this whole new change is causing me to focus more on my habits.
Yeah.
I started reading that Atomic Habits.
Yes, it's good, right?
Yeah, it's so good. And so I do those things. I lay certain things out right before, so I know that I walk in the door and I see this and I see that. And I do that in the hotel now. I prep everything. And when I come back to the hotel, everything's ready. So I'm pretty psyched. Like, this is actually, I was nervous about the lack of routine, but I'm enjoying it now.
Yeah. Well, I'm the same way. Like I don't mind going on a trip or something because it's almost like when you're off your normal routine, you have the ability to establish and experiment with new habits and new routines. Yeah. And then you can maybe take some of those back and be like, ooh, I like this. This is going to go into my everyday thing. But I always say we can either be the person that takes 10 minutes to set up the next day and have a nice smooth routine, or it can be the person that's 10 minutes late to everything that day. So it's our choice. So I like that you're enjoying that book and implementing. It's one of my favorites. So
it's great.
It's excellent. Well, cool. Well, I wish you luck and let me know how the nutrition matching goes. If you need some help with that, you can always just kick me an email and say, hey, here's the workout schedule. What would you recommend as far as what calorie level on what day? And I can always match that up for you. Okay.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you're someone that has been sucked into that black hole of weight loss doom, where you lose that weight, you gain it back over and over and over again, I would love to help you out by providing you with some coaching, a rock solid monthly game plan, and I'm going to plug you into an amazing transformation tribe of like-minded people. Head on over to millionpoundmission.com and get all of the information on my Transformation Reboot membership. See you on the next episode.